The point of this video is to remind us all, amongst the chaos and all the noise, there is one thing we must remember if we want to save money this year. He's trying to tell you, but you don't speak cat yet, so keep watching and Buns will tell you. Happy Frugal Friday, friends. Welcome to today's video. I'm going to cut right to the chase. I saw this quote and it really triggered something in me because it's something that I think we are all feeling right now on some level. I'm going to read it to you and let me know if you feel a certain way about it. Ready? Here we go. I got to read it off because it's kind of long. It's a meme of a woman lying down looking positively exhausted. And it says, so you're telling me I'm supposed to keep my child alive, educate and play with them, keep them off their tablet and TV, keep the house clean, keep my relationship alive, cook meals and keep track of the bills, have my own career and aspirations and goals, manifest my dream life, meditate, go out with friends and keep my relationships alive because it's not all about being a mom, be a size 8, walk 10,000 steps a day, work out 5 times a week, and eat healthily and do that all on the 4 hours of sleep? Cool. That is what it feels like we're all expected to do right now. And I'm gonna be straight with you. It's a bit much, don't you think? So in order to simplify your life going forward this year, right? A lot of us are doing no spend January. We're having great progress. We know what to do right now because the object is don't spend beyond our basic needs. However, what about the rest of the year? How do we navigate through this? And look, because of everything we just talked about and all the expectations put upon you, just remember this one thing. The one thing, if you want to save money this year, is to live below your means. We must find out for sure how much we're bringing in, and then we must spend less. In theory, everyone knows this. This makes sense, but putting it into practice is another story. Let's start with knowing your income, okay? Now, for those of you that are going to rule this out immediately and say, but my income is inconsistent. Look, we're doing no excuses this year, okay? So I know that that might be a challenge because it is hard. Easy for me to say, right? I have a consistent paycheck every 2 weeks. I know it's coming. I know like almost down to the dollar, down to the penny what it's going to be. But there are many out there that have fluctuating income. But look, this is what you're going to do. You're going to take bottom of the barrel that you could make, bottom of the barrel. So if you know at the very least, every time this paycheck's going to be $400, okay? But it could be $900. I mean, that's a big gap, but you're going to budget for the 400. Whatever the lowest scenario is, go with that. If you make more, it's only going to benefit you and you at least will have a budget in place. Don't let that thought of, I have an inconsistent income so I can't budget, be your reason not to budget this year. Let's squash it. Make your budget. Be clear about how much you bring home. If you have a partner or spouse and you're budgeting together, get clear on what you're actually bringing in. What is your take home? What actually hits your checking account each paycheck? It's got to be clear what you're actually bringing in so that you're not going to go over and spend beyond your means and be in the red. If you're in a place right now where you're just trying to maintain, you're not looking to achieve any new savings goals, and you are happily living within your means, of course that's an option. If you don't want to be saving, just live within your means and don't go over. But most of us here are looking for some kind of savings to go on that vacation they've really been wanting to go on, or get the car they really need, or buy a house, or whatever is the thing that you want to spend on, we've got to figure out how to live below our means. So once you know what you actually take home, this is the next thing I do. If you've been following me for a bit, you know I have 4 budget categories. The first one is household, the next is savings, the next is giving, and the last one is lifestyle. So the thing that is really crucial in living below your means is to know what your core essential expenses are, okay? Here is my cheat sheet for my household budget. As you guys know, if you've been watching me, I budget in every dollar, but you can just as easily do this on pen and paper, okay? So your core essential part of your budget, I call household, which is everything that keeps the household running. So that includes, for me, and this might alter slightly, again, you've got to adjust it to make it work for you, but rent or mortgage, so in my case, my mortgage, groceries, utilities, which is, for me, power, internet, I pay for a lot of oil in the winter, insurance, your health insurance, your car insurance, cell phone, and gas for that car. I wrote, what do you need to pay? And another way to kind of narrow this down would be, you ask yourself, you're like, well, I'm not sure if that's really a need or more of a choice. And the way to kind of gauge this is, if I lost my job tomorrow, what would I still need to pay for? So I'm sharing what mine is, but please know yours might differ and every single person's will differ. You've got to identify what is a need, what you need to keep the lights on, the water running, the roof over your head, and that's like what you absolutely need. Once you know this information, you can continue to build your budget based on your savings goals. And now, welcome to a new segment of the video, and it's brand new. It's the first time I identify it as such, but it's called a heart-to-heart real chat with Kate, okay? And there is a phrase that I keep hearing over and over again. And I'm going to say this gently and lovingly because it is used often. And gosh darn it, it's true. But it doesn't necessarily mean because it's true that it should happen, okay? Or will happen. And the phrase is, I'm going to spend on X because I deserve it. Now, baby girl, this is true. You do deserve it. You're working hard. You're getting your steps in. You're working more hours than you can believe. You're keeping the kids alive. You're doing the laundry. You're cooking. You're reaching for your goals. You're keeping your partner or spouse happy. You are exhausted. You are doing everything and more. So this could not be more true. Right. You do deserve it. Okay? But deserving it isn't the same in this situation. And I'm hoping that you all are receiving this in the most kind, loving way, because if we can get our head around that concept, even though we deserve it, it doesn't mean we should spend it. Okay, there's a difference. And I know that's like, some of you right now are like, Kate, you're stabbing me in the heart. Stop it. But look, I watched that show Till Debt Do Us Part. Have you guys watched that show? We've talked about it. A lot of us in the K Squad have talked about it. And look, the reason I'm bringing this up, you guys, is I hear you. I listen to you. I read all your comments. And some of you private message me some struggles that you're going through. And when I'm reading it, I'm just like, sometimes it's an awful situation, But this is so great that we have a place to talk about all this with people that are like-minded, that are thinking about these kind of things, and we're trying to help each other through it, right? So the concept of because I deserve it, yes, girl, you deserve it, but it doesn't mean you should spend it. Did you guys just click out of the video? Is anyone still here? So on that show, there was this couple that I distinctly remember, and they were in debt and they were struggling and they were fighting because of it. And it was a constant battle, but they would go on these lavish vacations because the husband said, I earn a lot and I deserve to go on these vacations. And he did make a lot, but he spent more. And therefore, they were in debt, in a lot of debt. And so anybody watching this, here's a couple things that I'm going to encourage you to consider. Again, everyone's different, so please know it's going to be a little different for everyone. But when you're thinking, I deserve this because I've worked hard, ask yourself these questions. Do you have an emergency fund? Do you have a fully funded emergency fund? If you do, keep going. Do you have credit card debt, student loan debt, personal debt? That might be a place we need to work on. But if not, keep going. Do you impulse buy things you can't afford? Like you actually don't have it in your checking and you're just putting it on credit and you don't actually have the money to pay it off at the end of the month. It's a red flag, right? And another thing is you're not saving up money anywhere for anything later. Are you never saving up? Are you always just maxed out and barely getting by or actually in the red? Are you never saving because you're spending it all? Just because you are working your tail off does not necessarily equate to being able to afford it. For example, the vacations. Do we all need a break and a vacation? Yeah, we do. But we can only go when we have done the work to afford it, even though we're working hard every day. I hope that's making sense. I hope this is sinking in. Just because you deserve it doesn't mean you should necessarily spend it. Okay, so to summarize, we are trying to live below our means this year so we can hit our savings goals. We're going to make sure we know what we're actually bringing home. We're going to nail down that household budget so we know the essentials. If ish hits the fan, we know what our basic needs are. Now, this isn't everything, right? I don't want this video to go too long. I'm going to leave you some helpful videos at the very end screen, and I'll also put some more in the description because there's more to the whole budget than just that. But I wanted to stress today that the most important thing is to spend less than you make and you will stay out of debt the rest of your life. The math will prove it. If you never spend more than you bring home, you will not be in debt and your shoulders will be lighter. If you spend, say this is how much you make and you're spending less, you've got this left over to spend on the things you want. So when people are coming out of no spend, unless you're doing a no spend year, some people are choosing to do it the whole year. I am not. As long as you spend less than you make, you can choose whatever you want to spend that on. It's exciting when you think about the freedom you will have when you follow this strategy. It will work every time. Now is your turn. Please leave in the comments, my wonderful K Squad, what is your biggest struggle to stay living below your means? What is your biggest pain point? What's the thing that you're like, I really want to do that, but leave it in the comments. I know the rest of the K Squad loves reading through and we like to collaborate. Like, hey, okay, we're having this problem. What can we do? What do we see as a solution for this? We're all about finding solutions, making your life smoother, and reaching the financial goals that you want to reach this year. I hope this video was useful to you. I hope that some of the things that I shared with you are going to inspire you to make the decisions that are going to lead you to your goals. Like I said, I will leave some videos right here at the end for you to watch next for continued inspiration. If you have not hit subscribe yet, hit subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell so you're notified each time I upload. Thank you for being here, and I will see you next Friday. Bye, guys.